Why'd Jabrill Peppers get cut? What happened there?
I wish I had the answer. It was a couple weeks ago. They were going to Minnesota, and I was thinking to myself, Peppers is a Vrabel player. Like, it just struck me like what they've been talking about defensively. Violence. And I just think, like Peppers, there's something about him, his play style. And so I had requested to interview Jabrill after one of the practices before they left to Minnesota because I wasn't going out for the joint practices, and I wrote about it on ESPN for the day after the Vikings preseason game, just how much Jabrill liked playing for Vrabel, and that he told me he's kept a notebook over his 9 years of his career, and he's in the meeting with Vrabel, and Vrabel's talking about everything that he wants the team to be, and Jabrill said he didn't have to really change anything in his notebook because it's everything that he sort of believes in, and that Jabrill wants to be a coach when he's done playing, and so he sort of felt like they were aligned. So you asked, like, why did he get cut? At that point, I felt like everything was going well. I will tell you, Beetle, from the week of the Vikings practice that I wasn't there when they went to Minnesota, I think he landed on his hip or something, got maybe a little shaken up, didn't play, as though you were there in the second preseason game. When they came back, he was not running with the top group anymore. It was Jalen Hawkins and Craig Woodson, the rookie. Thanks. So his role was changing based on what we saw, and Paul Perillo and Mike Giardi will vouch for this. We're watching practice. I think it was maybe after the Giants game, and when he had played, that was an eye-opener that he played in that game, and we saw him running with Del Pettis and the backups, and we looked at each other, the three of us on the media hill, and we said, we might have to put our antennas up on this. So we felt a shift, and I will tell you guys that, like someone mentioned to me that, and I don't know how this stuff works, another team. You call around to other teams, hey, who might be available? Like Pepper's name had come up. I know there was a lot of discussion about Duggar and Jennings. I think they were also talking about Jabrill. So I don't know what it was, but I would say that his spot on the team I don't think was as secure. You think there's something else? I can tell.
I do. No, I absolutely do. I think he pissed somebody off, and I think that his off the field something or other got in the way of him being on this roster, because this is not a team that can afford to give up talented players. They're not good enough. They're not talented enough. They're certainly not deep enough. And whatever you think of Jabrill Peppers, there's no doubt about his ability. I mean, he is a NFL starting safety and is graded out as one of the best in the league over the last few years when healthy. And so, I mean, it's not his level of play. It's not that he's not going to fit well enough within the scheme. He pissed somebody off. And I think he pissed off the guy who matters most around here now, Mike Vrabel. He pissed him off somehow, and he said, this isn't going to work for us. You're going to go. Because I'm doing something here. And, yeah, sure, your role was going to be different and maybe not what it was over the last couple of years, but there's a sliding scale there of being a pain in the ass and being worth having on the roster, and you know what? You're just over that line. Get out. That's how I think it goes down.
This feels to me like
he's too good of a player to have it just be about his role changing.
It's an identity / culture cut.
So, but Zoe, the tough part for me is on the identity. Like, I think Jabrill Peppers is the type of identity that Vrabel wants.
On the field.
Culture is different on the field. Culture is different. And maybe there's something there. I think if I had the chance to ask Jabrill a question, which I don't, it would be, okay, we all saw things were shifting, that you were playing with the backups for the last 2 weeks of camp.
Yeah.
How would you have felt about playing behind Jalen Hawkins and Craig Woodson? That would be the question I would ask him, because, Beetle, it would clear up one thing for me, which is, like, if Jabrill Peppers is proud and feels like he should be playing over Jalen Hawkins, a 6-year veteran who has been around and over a 4th-round rookie out of Cal who's still finding his way, that would make sense to me that he might feel like that role was underneath him. I'm not saying that.
No, it's a good theory. I think you're probably onto something there. I wonder if him playing in that final preseason game was a test. I wonder about that.
Yeah.
Good coaches pull those things, right? They do those things
to see how a player will
How's he going to
respond.
react? You know, that's a Parcells thing, isn't it so?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Let's throw him out there. Let's see how he responds to this. Let's put him in the game.
Test.
See how he feels about it after the game. Coaches, the good coaches do that stuff. They play those mind games. And maybe it didn't go well. Maybe he didn't like that one bit.
Well, the irony of that possibility is that after that game, Jabrill's in the locker room and Kyle Duggar's the next stall over, and those were two players that a lot of us reporters wanted to talk to, and the reporters were asking Jabrill about Kyle.
Huh, yeah.
You know, and so as we talk about this, I think you guys mentioned this, like their style of play is somewhat similar. So
Yes.
I do wonder if something had happened with Kyle Duggar, if another team had acquired him in a
pulled
trade,
the trigger on a deal.
I don't know if this would be different with Jabrill, like if it was a one or
Right.
the other type thing.
You were retweeting Peppers, Mike?
I retweeted.
Was
him.
it the going on 9 years tweet?
Yeah. Why?
Well, David Andrews told me. He said,
Yeah.
"Did you see Reiss
What'd
was
he tweet?
retweeting Peppers, stirring it up?"
I know David loved that. Because
He said, "Look at Reiss stirring things up."
But that's interesting that he said that, because my thing is, I wanted to hear from Jabrill, just to learn more about where he's coming from.
Well, what he
You
wrote
know?
on Twitter was, "Going on 9 years in this league, I've had 7 head coaches and 6 defensive coordinators. LOL." Tweets like Zoe texts.
Ha
LOL.
la la la.
There is no scheme you can place me in where I won't find a way to be effective.
Yeah, so when I saw that, I wanted to retweet it because I feel like as a reporter, if you have the chance to share a player's thought process on what has happened, that's good to pass along to followers. That was a thought process. But I don't know on the scheme thing. I will say I know Mike Vrabel said it wasn't about the scheme. I sort of feel like watching the team with the safeties, this is probably simplifying it, and Zoe help me on this because when I get into the X's and O's, I get a little hesitant.
Oh, do you? What? What do you want help with?
I feel like they want the safeties to just don't get beat behind you.
That's the killer.
We'll like just and
They're going to be asked to cover guys down
Yeah.
the field.
Peppers
Help
can't
in
cover.
coverage.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
part of
and
this.
I feel like Jabrill, who I do think is a Vrabel player from a identity standpoint, I think he's a crusher
He's more like a linebacker.
going downhill.
He's a linebacker playing safety.
So I
And it took Mike Vrabel until September to figure this out?
think he was. My view of it was he was trying like different roles within their scheme to see if it would take. That means go to the slot, cover in the
Well,
slot.
they strictly couldn't be down in the box guys. You got to move because you can't fool quarterbacks. If you're Joe Burrow and you see he's always down in the box, I'm always going to count him as a front guy. He's never going to be in coverage.
So you think they tried to trade him, though, first, before they did this, and didn't get any takers?
I think.
Probably tried to trade Duggar and him.
I would say I think he was available before they did this. I do.
And Pepper's contract is far more palatable,
Yeah.
based in terms of total dollars and where he's at and how he's played recently, than where Duggar.
Oh, yeah, it's not even close.
Like Duggar not getting a trade, not getting
'Cause of
any
the
nibbles
contract,
there.
yeah.
You get it. Peppers
So I would
couldn't
say
even get an offer.
and
Couldn't
I
even get a deal done.
and I really like Jabrill Peppers. What he said, I respect his opinion. I will say there's others around the league that do view him as more of a scheme-specific player, like the Bill Belichick scheme. Same with Kyle Duggar. Like when he was a free agent and they put the transition tag on him, there were teams around the league that I spoke with that said he fits really well in that scheme that Bill runs or Gerard runs, but he wouldn't necessarily fit for every scheme.